Hey everybody, welcome back to the SmokeMidwest.com YouTube channel. I'm Scott, and today we're going to be smoking up these beautiful beef dino ribs on the Lone Star Grillz offset smoker. So what we have here today is this absolutely gorgeous 3-bone rack of beef dino ribs I got online. And I got these specifically knowing I was going to get the Lone Star Grillz offset smoker, and I wanted to do these in that smoker with some good hickory wood. So I have a chimney load of lump charcoal that's getting lit there in the background, and we're going to trim this up a little bit. This fat up here on the top is kind of hard, and I want to get that off because I don't think it'll render very well. Plus I want the seasoning directly on the meat to get that good bark. So you can take a nice sharp knife at an angle and just slowly start to peel that fat. Try not to get into the meat at all. And if there's a little left over, that's totally cool too. I'm just going to go ahead and get these trimmed up. And I know fat is flavor, and I'm probably going to hear that in the comments, but I know that too. But look at all that fat inside these beef ribs. There's tons of flavor already in here, tons of fat. They are going to be good. So let's just get this fat peeled off it. So we got the fat cap. That was hard fat, trimmed off the top. Some silver skin was on there too. Got that trimmed up for the most part. It's not perfect, but never is when you do that. So what I'm going to do is season it up with the Smoked Midwest all-purpose. It's a fantastic blend of salt, pepper, garlic, a little paprika in there, and it's a little heavy on the pepper, which obviously is intentional, and that's why I would definitely want to use it for these beef ribs because I love some heavy pepper on beef. Now, on the back side, I'm leaving the membrane here. I'm really not going to do anything with it. That membrane is going to help keep these together because they're going to get super, super tender as we go. I don't know if you really need to season the back side. I'm going to put a little bit of seasoning there. Press it in. Definitely do the sides. Get all the sides because you gotta have flavor everywhere, and a nice, good, healthy dose of the rub on top. I love a good bark, and this is going to help form a great bark. That looks pretty good. I'm going to press it in. We'll let these guys just sit and hang out a few minutes while we get the smoker up and going. So I got a chimney full of lit lump charcoal. I'm just going to dump it into the Lone Star Grillz here. I have the fire management basket, so I'm just going to use this as a good base for my coal bed. Try and do this without burning myself. Then I'm just going to take a piece of hickory, kind of spread out the coals a little bit. Put that right there on top, get that going. We'll put another one there on the side to warm up as we get going. I'm going to get this fire going nice and hot, and I'm shooting to cook these ribs about 250, 275. So once the smoker is up and going, we'll see you then. So just after a few minutes, got a nice fire going. With an offset smoker, you want a nice bed of coals to get everything going. So I'm just going to let this go for a while and start choking things back when it hits about 250-ish. So it's been about 45 minutes. I actually took the ribs and set them inside so they're not baking in the sun. But just want to show you the fire here. We got a nice clean fire going. Got that nice hickory wood going. And it's settled in. The smoker settled in about 275. Now I know I'm probably gonna have to choke that damper back as we go along a little bit, but let's get these ribs on. These are looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna set them in the smoker like this. I'm gonna put the thicker end towards the firebox, just right there in the middle. And we're just gonna let them ride and manage the fire and keep it at 275 and as wood as needed. And we'll check in with you in a little bit. So it's been about an hour since I fired up the smoker. I've noticed my temps are starting to drop. It's been holding real good, about 275, 280. So I'm thinking it's about time to add some wood. So I just want to show you the fire, kind of what it's looking like. So it's burned down pretty good. And what I like to do is, you got this wood here that's been heated up real good. Sticker right there on the fire. Leave the door open. It's going to catch pretty good because we have a good coal bed. I'm going to put this one right there in the smoker to let that warm up so you can see just a matter of a few seconds how fast that caught fire. So what I like to do is just leave it going. I don't know, maybe a few minutes, making sure it's looking good. You know, that the wood's caught fire real good. Then I'm going to close the door, and you can see that's about where I have it cracked, or I have the damper open. It's about low 80s right now, high in the upper 80s in the sun. The smoker sits directly in the sun, so it doesn't take a whole lot of wood to keep this thing going. Super efficient smoker. We'll see you in a little bit. The ribs have been on about an hour, 45 minutes. I'm monitoring the temp on my phone with the Fireboard 2 controller. It's sitting 270, 280 around in there. Just got done putting on a split. So I wanted to check out the ribs and see what they look like. I think they're looking excellent. Starting to get a little pullback. The bark is definitely set. So I want to keep these nice and moist as we're cooking. So I have about a 50-50 mixture of water and apple cider vinegar. Gonna give these a nice little spritz. Keep them nice and moist. Close this thing back up. We're gonna keep on rolling. That hickory wood smells fantastic, and we'll see you here in a little bit. So our ribs have been on for 4 hours. We're running at 279.5. Take a look at them. Got an awesome bark going on. About every 45 minutes when I put on a split, I've been spraying them down with the water, apple cider vinegar. So let's kind of see where the temperature is at and kind of... So we're at 179. They still feel pretty tough. So we got a little ways to go. I'm gonna spritz them down real quick. I'm gonna put a probe in there too. We're shooting for like anywhere between 200, 205 whenever they're tender. But I want to put a probe in there because I don't want to overshoot it. So we'll check in with you then. So it's been 6 hours, 15 minutes, and I think they are done. Let's check them out. Excellent bark on them. Internal temperature is 202 degrees. You got a nice jiggle to them. The probe's going in and out nice and tender. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off and wrap them up. All right, so they are done cooking. I didn't wrap them during the cooking process because I wanted to get all that nice fat render out of these, but I do want to get this bark a little more tender than what it is. So I have some Wagyu beef tallow that's liquefied a little bit. So I'm just gonna pour it over the top. This stuff's pretty good. I like to use it on brisket, pretty much any beef. Pour what we got over the top. Then I'm just gonna flip these guys over. I'm gonna wrap them up. seal them up the best I can. I'm gonna get 2 sheets of heavy duty foil here. Moving that way just a tick. Seal this end up. Seal this end up. I'm gonna take them inside. I'm gonna let them rest. Probably put the oven on warm and just to get it warm in there, and then shut it off, and then let them rest for probably about an hour. I'm gonna slice into them. So our beef dino ribs have been resting for an hour. I swear that's the hardest part about doing barbecue. Let's check them out. They smell amazing, as you would expect. They feel nice and tender. They look absolutely gorgeous. Whew, those look good. So let's slice into these and give them a taste. Let's start on this end. Oop, kind of hit the bone there. Those look good. Take a look. Kind of falling apart on me. That's all right. You know they're going to be good. I can't take it anymore. I gotta try with these. Take a big bite of this one. That is extremely tender. The smoke on it is awesome. Great beef flavor. These are absolutely dynamite. If you've never done beef ribs, I suggest give them a try. They're awesome. We'll see you in the next video.